Hello, YouTube. This is my first story back from my little hiatus I've had. It's called To Disturb the Beauty by Realm of Mere Shadows. An adventure story. Daring Do promised Rainbow Dash she would help her friends. It occurred she was asked by Rarity to give a helping hoof to an improvised adventurer, Coco Pamel. Chapter 1 To Disturb the Beauty. It's only when we stand out of our own set boundaries that we find true beauty. Not sure who made that quote. Come on, what are you doing, Slowpoke? Daring Do called. Flapping her wings over the mountain's cliffside, she turned around, looking down, and let out a heavy sigh. Couldn't you be a Pegasus? You're so slow, she complained. A grunt echoed back, distorted by the edgy stone shards that covered the tedious slope of the ridge. Far below stretched a massive valley, dank and foggy. With a roll of her eyes, Daring Do swiftly landed, dusting off the grayish dirt that had accumulated on the cliff path. It's getting late, Daring Do brought forth. Not like staying out in the cold is something I don't like, but... Another grunt popped close. I shouldn't have followed Dash's advice, a mare's voice answered, gradually getting louder. I shouldn't have followed Dash's advice. A hoof reached the side of the promontory, and with a final heart-wrenching effort, a mare hauled herself to safety. Her last drop of strength drained, the earth pony jerked and sprawled at Daring Do's hooves. The Pegasus raised a brow at the little wreck of an earth pony before her, a cream white mare with a turquoise mane streaked with icy blue. Daring Do shook her head disapprovingly. Yeah, Daring Do snarled. Why did I accept to help you? I bid you to remind me. Rainbow Dash is your friend, the mare rasped, hardly catching her breath. She asked you to help me. I'm no babysitter, especially if it's to carry a Manhattan pony around the uncanny valley of Boston. Daring Do huffed. And for Scorchio's demise, why would Miss Coco Pamel want anything to do with that deadly part of the region in the first place? Holding a hoof on her chest, Coco Pamel breathed twice. I told you before, she coughed. I need the flower of iridescence. I'm competing against Rarity next month in Manhattan. Rainbow Dash told me I could find something here was in your book. With a final resty breath, Coco dropped her head and tried to regain composure. Blah, 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 Daring Do sniggered, moving her right hoof in circles. You want to be the very best, got it. But there are other ways to die than out here. With a pained hiss, Coco hauled herself on her hind legs and sat on the cold ground. The snow had fallen last night and had melted away. Just a little pond remained by her side. Leaning over, the small-framed earth pony took in how disheveled and dirty her mane was. Her shoulders and ears dropped a little. Daring Do squinted her eyes at Coco's prude reaction, stretching her cheekskin with her muddy hooves. Can't believe it, Daring Do rumbled. The valley seemed peaceful, to be honest. Coco broke her silence. A roar in the distance struck out, and the fashion pony cringed a bit on her legs, taking back her words. Because predators know who's the alpha down there, Daring Do mused with a grin, motioning toward the valley below where a luxuriant jungle stretched out for miles. You're safe with me. With a wide smile, Daring Do crawled closer to Coco Pamel and pushed her back on her hooves. If I hadn't been here, Daring Do mocked, you wouldn't have lasted for very long. The Pegasus clenched her teeth and stormed in the air in a flap of her wings, leaving Coco in the dust. Usually I work alone, Daring mentioned ahead. I've done an exception for only 2 ponies, Dash and you. I'm very disappointed in my second pick. Coco Hamel mumbled unintelligibly and looked down, rubbing her hoof. I'm sorry, she apologized. Come on, Slowpoke, Daring smiled. I'm on holidays. It's not like I'm going to have you go through the Sleepy Hollow right. What's that? Coco asked, creepily curious. A story for another time, Pegs replied with a wink. Coco's neck cracked as she rubbed her crusty and rusty shoulder. She closed her eyes and sighed. She had just lost her scarf. She looked behind the valley below. It would be possible to fetch it back, even to find it in the foggy, cold, and dank cliffs. Are we there yet? Coco asked without enthusiasm as she looked at her scarfed hoofs. You slowpoke should look at a bit higher than your own worries. Daring teased, dashing to Coco's side and pushing her chin a bit higher. We are there. Frowning, Coco Pamel raised her head and met the vastness of the world. She had reached the mountain's peak without knowing it. Her mouth gaped open and she took in the view. If not for the fog and angry clouds, the view would have covered dozens of miles. The highest peak in the region gave a gut-punch sight of the valley, rivers, faraway villages, and places one couldn't see except for here. Coco dropped on her haunches with a gasp. Do you often see that as a Pegasus? Coco wondered. Pretty often, Daring Do boasted. Why, you're envious? A bit. Well, no time to lose, Daring continued. I want to be back in the valley tonight. There's not enough air to breathe very long up here, and the night will ice your bum. But we haven't found the flower I needed for my dress, Coco pleaded. Open your eyes, sweetie, Daring cajoled it. Look further than your own hoofs. There it was, indeed, bathing in the cold light slithering through the clouds far above the mountaintop. The flower was there. The flower of iridescene. White as snow, the star-shaped flower shone above the dirt. A rainbow lace seemed to enclose the 5 petals. It was magnificent, eerie, attractive, and drawing Coco closer. There was only one of them. Have you ever seen something like this? Coco asked, unable to break eye contact with the plant. It's a very rare flower, Daring said, her eyes reflecting the rainbow light. I've heard of it, but looking at it, wow, it's beautiful. Cocomel stretched a hoof and hesitated. A roar boomed over. Something caught Daring Do midair, and like dead weight, the Pegasus and its attacker fell on the ground. With a thump, a cloud of dust flew over the mountain top, obscuring Coco's vision. A heavy paw dropped over Coco's head and pinned her against the rock beneath her hoofs. She gasped, trying to catch her breath. The grip tightened and her chest heaved with difficulty. Whining with tears of fear wetting her cheeks, she opened an eye and looked over at Daring Do. A tiger. A laugh pierced through the lid of gray. It was a massive 4-legged creature. Dark blue fur covered a major part of its back, and below picky yellow eyes, a mouth garnished with razor-sharp teeth cackled. I got you this time, Daring Do. Awizoto, the Pegasus spat, feeling the tiger's claws brush against her ear. Will you call back your pets? I'm afraid I won't, Awizoto said, lowering himself to Daring Do's eye level. I want what you went snatching here. Daring Do arched a brow. So? Awizoto growled, scanning the surroundings. Where is the temple? The gold? The booty? Looking right and left, the beast had only the air and the breathtaking landscape to feast upon. There must be a trick, he whispered, rubbing his chin. Hey, Rectangle Head, Daring Do called out. I know you like to stalk me around, but don't you think you're abusing the secret lover status here? Awizoto snarled at the Pegasus. What have you done? He roared. Daring Do doesn't just go hiking around. Where did you hide your findings? You're so dense, Daring sighed. Please stop, Coco breathed, a heavy paw crushing her down to the ground. Daring turned over and saw Coco sweating madly, crouched and arched over the flower, trying to protect it from the second tiger pinning her down. Don't break it, the deer pony whined. It's important. With a snap of his finger, Arizona called back the feline and crept closer to the fashionista. What is this? Arizona rumbled as he lifted off the poor pony with one hand, narrowing his eyes to a blade which he took in full view of the little flower. His eyelids twitched, and one could hear his teeth grind together, even though his mouth was shut close. A flower? He boomed. You came all the way up here for a flower? Hey, what did you expect? Derry mused with a faint smile. Arizona saw red. With a cry, he lifted his hand and smashed it down. No! Coco jumped in the way, curled over the plant. The claw pinned in her flank, and she whimpered. Another kind of red dripped over, along with a steady stream of tears. Arizona froze, looking at the small pony that had dared come in his way. Though pain burned her flank, Coco slowly stretched her hoof away from the flower of iridescene. It was intact. You can't have it, Coco cried. It's too precious for a boorish like you. Coco slumped aside as the sky screamed and cracked with thunder. Rain started to fall, and wind rose violently, whirled around the peak. Arizona's ears dropped, and he backed away, watching the city flower glow in rainbow light in the rising storm. Though the sky rumbled, crackled, and twisted, Coco's cries did pierce and reach Arizona. He sat and pouted inside. Eyes closed, he lifted his hands to his temple and shook them in silence. It lasted for a few seconds until deep tiredness drew over his face. Oh, come on, Arizona mumbled in anger. I scraped my bottom on those cliffs for a flower. You can keep it. With his fur tinting darker, with the rain drumming over his back, the blue beast snapped his fingers. Let's get out of here, Arizona managed to say, calling off his hedge cats. As they crawled down the steep, Arizona turned back and glared at Daring Do, finally breathing after the tiger had let her go. He lifted his right hand to his eye level. With only his index and middle finger stretched out, he pointed at his eyes, then turned them to Daring Do direction. Curse you, Daring Do, he muttered as his face faded out of below the mountaintop. With Coco still crying next to the flower, the two ponies looked at each other, with barely hidden, though pained, smiles. It's intact, Coco whispered. Yep, Daring Do said victoriously. Time to get you help. He hurt you badly. Coco nodded, refusing to look at the wound. It's superficial, she mumbled weakly, but it hurts. It will get infected, Daring warned. I'll fly us to the nearest village. Coco pondered the offer. Why haven't you flown me over here then? Your pony asked. Hey, Daring giggled. It's your adventure, not mine. Gotta do that work alone, don't you think? Coco let out a short laugh. Her side hurt. Time to cut it off, Daring said, pulling a small sickle out of her bag. No! Coco interjected. No. They both looked at the flower. The roaring thunder crackled and spurred over their heads. The echoes in the nearby mountains were cinematic and otherworldly despite the element's rage. The flower remained undisturbed, motionless. While the sky grew darker, and the flower still shone magnificent. The mountain peak was its realm. We don't, mumbled Coco. Just let's go. I don't want to rip a queen off her throne. With a smile, Daring walked to Coco's side and hauled her on her back. I don't know if you're making the right choice, the adventurous Pegasus pondered. But it's mine, Coco cut off with a whimper. Thereof, it's the best, I think. Daring looked one last time at the flower, nodded, and gave a short giggle. Then she jumped up the cliff, with the raging wind lifting her in the air without effort. Coco was too weak to scream, and her eyes had long blurred, hiding how high in the sky she was. Something soft licked her face. She stretched out a hoof. It was a scarf she thought she had lost, and one single iridescent petal, and a seed, white as snow. were entangled in its silk. With a warmth spreading to her body, she tried to look up at the mountain peak. Her eyes only met a thunderous cloud, hiding everything from the sky to the ground. She held the rainbow bean petal and the scarf to her chest. "Thank you," she said before fading away into unconsciousness. The end. Well, that was a short, cute story. I'll have something this is good hopefully next weekend. So, see everybody if you liked it. Like, subscribe, tell other people about it. And see you next weekend.